I'm going to show you how to set up an adjustable banner stand. They're going to come in a case like this, nice and compact, holds tight. With these you can use either a vinyl banner or a fabric banner. The fabric banners tend to look a little bit better on these stands because they're a little more forgiving. They'll usually have a tiny bit of stretch, even if it's not a stretch fabric to them. But let's jump into it. So first thing you want to do, open up the bag. We keep our banners in the bag for nice keeping. Pull out all the pieces that you have, set them out. You should have 2 feet. You're going to have 4 thumb screws. You're going to have an Allen wrench, and then you're going to have a couple of different pieces here that we'll pull out and identify. So what you're going to have, like I said, you've got the 2 feet, the 4 thumb screws, 2 Allen wrenches. You're going to have 2 pieces that have threaded bolts coming out of them. One is going to have a cap on it, a male cap, and the other will have no cap, so that would be the female end. And then you're going to have 2 pieces that have screw ends into the back of them. One will have a male cap, the other none, so it'll be the female side. With these pieces, you can tell that they are different from these. These ones are going to have holes drilled into the sides of them. So that's a way to differentiate those. First thing you're going to want to do is grab a male and a female. Make sure one side has the male cap and the other does not. And you'll just screw these together. Get it fairly tight. I mean, you don't have to really key-man it and get it crazy tight, but it is good to have it nice and snug so that way it's not going to bend or give any flex on you. Do that to the other one as well. So these 2 pieces that we just screwed together, these are going to be the top and bottom pieces. Next, what you're going to want to do is take your vertical pieces. There should be either already threaded into them or in a baggie that's going to be inside the bag will be 2 bolts, like so. You're going to take these bolts and put a foot on the bottom. Then there is a hole in the bottom of the foot where you can put in this screw. And an easy way to get it going so you don't have to use the Allen wrench the whole time is basically if you put a little pressure with your thumb and then spin the vertical pieces, so you can do most of it that way, and then once it starts to get close you can then take the Allen wrench and tighten it up. Same thing on these, get it snug, but you don't have to do it super tight. One thing to consider as well is you're actually going to need these holes that are drilled into the side of the pipe. Those actually need to be facing perpendicular to the feet here because these top and bottom pieces are going to screw into those. So make sure those are somewhat perpendicular and then tighten down that bolt a little bit. And repeat the same step for the other leg. Okay, so now that you've got your 2 vertical pieces attached to the legs, before you start attaching the top and bottom pieces, you need to get your banner and get that laid out. So you've got it here. Obviously identify your top and bottom. You've noticed that it's easier to start with the top, to put that on first. So what we're going to do is take one of our vertical pulls and feed it through the top loop of your banner. Obviously, the setup only works if you have pull pockets. At least on the top of your banner, it's definitely best to have pull pockets top and bottom. So as it stands right now, our banner is actually too long for this pull as is. So we're going to need to adjust the length of these pulls. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to loosen these caps by turning them counterclockwise if you were looking down on it. And basically these will telescope, and so you can kind of set it to the length that you're going to need. They actually telescope on both sides. We found that it's best, instead of just doing one like super far and leaving the other one not telescoped at all, it's best to try and get them both close. That way when it is pushed down in, there's actually more strength within the tubes. So I'm going to pull this out a couple inches. Just do it kind of hand tight for now. Do the other one a couple inches, and then going to adjust so that there's just a few inches on either side. So once you've got your vertical pull to be the correct width that you're going to need, you're going to want to take your legs, kind of place them pretty close to the distance you want. It's much easier to do this with two people, so I'm going to have somebody come help me with this. You can do it by yourself, but it gets really, really tricky, and you actually risk bending some of the tubes and damaging the frame itself. So as you can see on these poles, there are holes drilled in here. What you're going to do is you're going to take the thumb bolt, feed it through like so, and then you're going to take the top vertical tube and line it up with that thumb bolt. There's a hole on the end here with the bolt inside. So you can take that and start screwing it in. Once you have both sides connected, you're going to want to basically repeat the process for the bottom tube. And an easy way to match the same length is basically just hold it up to this top one and adjust as necessary. Alright, once you have it set to the correct length, you're going to want to take the tube and put it in the bottom pull pocket of your banner. So as you can see right now, there's a lot of extra play in the banner. We're going to adjust that after we actually attach the bottom vertical pull. One thing to note as well is, with these, right now if you just try and put them in, you're actually going to run into the tube, like it's not going to be able to go all the way through. So you're going to have to actually loosen this bottom screw right here. Lift up this top piece, it'll start to come up very easily. Lift it until you can see the tube is no longer blocking the hole. Then you can stick your thumb screw in. You can let this just slide down, and then go ahead and attach the vertical pull to the thumb screw. When you're doing the thumb screws, you don't ever want to force it. If you're forcing it, you're probably stripping the threads and will damage the frame itself. So make sure if it's not going, sometimes you have to move the frame around a little bit to get the bolt and the nuts to line up. So make sure you do that, otherwise you risk damaging the frame. Okay, once you have both your top and bottom vertical bars attached, all you need to do is basically lift it up, loosen, make sure your rings are loosened, and then go up, kind of like adjust the banner a little bit. You want to make sure that it's pretty close, and put a little bit of tension on it, but like you don't want to be stretching it out so much, otherwise you get kind of funny wrinkles in it. So just go till it looks nice, and then tighten down this ring by turning it counterclockwise. If you have a really tall banner, you can go one step further. These rings right here on top will also adjust, so let me just show you that. Exact same manner, loosen them up. And you can adjust it from either ring. There's quite a bit of size difference that you can have with these, so it works really well. In order to take it down, basically reverse the process in the exact same order. There's nothing special or unique, and throw it back in your bag and you're good to go.